is early morning at Melbourne's Docklands, 2 days before the Melbourne Osaka Cup yacht race. Most of the 16 starters have arrived. Rosie is taking a last load down to Ingenue before we attend a briefing about the exiting of Port Phillip Heads. This is given by Robin Hewitt. After 3 years of planning and preparation, the big day has arrived, and all too quickly, in a whirl of social functions and last-minute paperwork. A large crowd of people is here today to wish us bon voyage. I'm sure George and Robin are wishing they were going again. A group photograph, and then it's out to the starting line.
The start line, good luck. See you in Osaka.
Voyage FGI. Runaway. Wasabi. Caddy. Hullabaloo. We're away in Ingenue and that's Wild Boar behind us. Rosie has everything in control as we head out of the river. HMAS Melbourne is to be our starting boat. There are quite a few spectator boats out here to watch the start. There's Gusto with Brian and Patrick aboard. Robin Hewitt and his crew have brought Yoko out to watch. Here comes Adam's Rib and the Whisk Girls. The Asprey family. That's Decadence. The starting line is just over there. We won the start and pushed off into a 20 knot southeasterly. We arrived at the Rip 1.5 hours into the ebb flow and had a bumpy ride into Bass Strait. The southeast, blowing at 22 knots, had us beating all the way to Wilson's Prom overnight. This is the 4th day of the race as we near Point Hicks. We've been battling against variable 10 to 25 knot northeasterly winds and adverse currents and tides. It looks as though the Gippsland bushfires are not all out yet. We're making good speed, but as you can see from the chart plotter, we're still west of Point Hicks. The starboard quarter berth has become a storeroom, and our wet weather gear is drying off in the middle head. Rosie has been busy making courtesy flags for our return journey. There's the Point Hicks lighthouse. We've had quite lumpy seas and we've had an adverse set and drift on the bow that's made it hard to get past Gabo Island. Rosie's resting at the moment, but having a look at that sky, I think we better get the number 1 reef in and number 4 deployed. About 10 minutes later and we're flying. The breeze is behind us as we skirt the rocks at Green Cape. It's good fishing today. This is the southern end of Twofold Bay. Just have a look at that one.
Big fish.
We were becalmed last night off Montague Island, but we're picking up well as we pass the entrance to Jarvis Bay.
At 22 knots.
Day 6 and we're off Terrigal. We're running the number 3 and a full main in 18 knots of breeze. Ingenue has gained quite a lot of running rigging since her charter boat days in Hamilton Island. And Notice the gimbal drink holder works very well. Someone's gone and put a winch handle in the bottle holder. The wind has increased and we have the number 4 on the inner forestay and we have the check stay on the left there. That puff didn't last very long, so we've rolled out the number 1 and put it on a pole with the number 4 and the main still operating as we come towards Port Stephens. We're just south of Sugarloaf Point and the decision has been made to cross the East Australian Current in view of the forecast light winds along the east coast over the next 5 days. We're on a broad reach with 16 knots of breeze and we're making 8.9 knots through the water. Rosie is making sambals to go with the Rogan Josh, which is to be our lunch. Sunrise on day 9. We've had a security alert from Hullabaloo telling us that there's been an earthquake in the Solomon Islands and there's likely to be a tsunami. Tsunami alert has been cancelled, but we hear there's been extensive damage in the Solomon Islands. We've had a fairly lumpy sort of a ride as we've tried to avoid Cato Island. We actually needed to change course by 60 degrees and had the seas beam on for a while. We have safely passed Bird Island and Observatory Cay and are now looking towards the Louisiades with the intention of passing to the east end near Russell Island. Day 15 and it's getting hot and the wind has dropped out as we head into the Solomon Sea. The autopilot seems to be leaking some hydraulic fluid, so I've taken everything out of the cockpit locker and I'm now having a look to see what the problem is. It appears to be this set screw. I've had a play with it and it now seems to seal. We're actively chasing these clouds because there's often good downdraft winds around them and good rain for washing in them. We've got the washing out ready and here comes the rain. We had good rain that time, but very little wind. Now to hang out the washing to dry. It'll take quite a while because there's 100% humidity and no breeze. It's getting quite hot now. The seawater has reached 30 degrees centigrade and we're looking at many ingenious ways of using our wind scoop. It's day 19, we're still in the Solomon Sea, not a lot of wind and we're having brunch this morning. It's eggs, bacon and tomatoes with roti bread. We have our lightweight sails up. You'll notice the trysail instead of the main, stop the boom flogging. We have 1.8 knots of wind and we're making 1.8 knots through the water. While we've got the main down, I've used this opportunity to put sacrificial patches on the sail so that it won't wear against the rigging and spreaders. You wouldn't believe how hot it is up here. I'm just about melting. We've made 41 nautical miles in 24 hours and distance gained 22 nautical miles. Have a look at our track. Esoterica 0632 153. I'm relaying the fleet's positions by sat phone. None of the yachts can get through to Hobart on the high frequency radio. Barbecue for lunch. We'll have it in the cockpit under the bimini. The Yarra Valley Pinot will go down well with the lamb and rosemary sausages with pesto, Tuscan potatoes and Greek salad. Day 22 and we've escaped the Solomon Sea. We are now drifting around Sanambit Island. Sunrise and we're still there, and there's a strong current bringing all sorts of debris like tree trunks and 44-gallon drums past us. Day 25 and we're approaching the equator. We might get some wind out of the squall if we're lucky. There we are.
Hooray!
We made it!
Well done. Given to us by the Whisk Girls to celebrate our crossing the equator. We're about to have a drop, and Neptune, for all his troubles, can have one too.
That sake has gold leaf in it, and those are Japanese savoury biscuits. Day 35. This is the first time we've had a kite up. We're back to lightweight sails. The spinnaker stayed up for just 4 hours before the wind dropped. The main has been slatting so much that we've had to cut a bit off the main halyard. The inner forestay has started to strand, and Rosie has gone up to take it down. This is the inner forestay. It's obviously a little bit worse for wear. We discovered it a day or so ago, and we found that it's gone off the top swage here. So we'll get a new one made in a couple of days when we get to Osaka. We have a good breeze as we approach the Japanese coast on day 40. This is the first pleasure craft that has come to see us. Visibility has been around 2 miles, and as yet we haven't seen land. There's a pilot vessel. This is our first glimpse of Japan. It's Tomagashima, the island at the entrance to Osaka Bay. There is a traffic separation scheme here, as all the ships coming to and from Osaka, Kobe and the Inland Sea have to pass through this entrance, which is about 1.5 miles wide. There's a very strong tidal flow through this area. Fortunately, we are coming in with the flood, and it's running at about 3 knots. We are through, and I've just made contact with Osaka quarantine, and we are cleared and can pull into the marina when we go through the finishing line in a few hours' time. This is the media vessel. It's been following us for 3 hours. We are now at the finishing line. What an overwhelming welcome. It's first light, we haven't been to bed yet, we've been out partying with everybody. You'd think we'd won the race, the fuss they've made of us. This aerial shot shows our route in last night and the marina. That's the main clubhouse. The smaller building is Melbourne House. The skyline is dominated by bridges and this amazing building. Melbourne House was built especially to entertain the crews from the Melbourne Osaka race yachts. We thought people were joking when they told us that was a garbage recycling plant. Ingenue, as you know, Sun Odyssey 40 cruising boat, looks rather small beside Decadence. We're still awake and we're ready to welcome Wild Boar as she comes in 7 hours behind us.
スパークリングワインといえばレースにつきものです。ちょっとね、花束の下に置いといてください。すいません。太田さんここで一緒やね。さあ、よく振ってくださいよ。シェイクシェイク。よく振って、さあどうするか。さあどうなるか。用意はできてるか。はい、そっちも用意。はい。スパークリングワインの叩きになりそうだけど。なんか知らんけど。はい、それではどうぞ。はい、どうもありがとう。頭の消毒に。ありがとうございます。無事に帰ってこられたこととても嬉しく思います。はい、
I'm very, very glad that you arrived to Osaka safely.
北海道クラブの参加でですね、本当に嬉しく思います。どうもありがとうございました。
Well, it belongs to Hokoyo, but it's really, really great. Thank you very much.
はい、ありがとうございました。
After the welcoming ceremony, we then took up our 3 nights accommodation in the local hotel motel. It turned out to have been a village built to demonstrate that Osaka was capable of having the Olympic Games. As it's turned out, it's become a very popular sporting precinct for the Japanese, and it's all built on reclaimed land. You can see they build a breakwater and then they fill it using those big drag scoops. We are back at the yacht club this morning to see the ceremony of releasing the fish. It is measures like these that keep the fishing industry viable in the Osaka Bay area. The racing canoe is all part of the fun.
Yes.
It's raining, so we've decided to have the grandstand view from the balcony at Melbourne House. Now it's time for a cup of tea. A little snack is served with the tea.
What are you making?
Rosie is off to do the washing. Washing done, it's time to go back to Melbourne House for a delicious lunch. They called this a Japanese pizza. It's more like a frittata to me. Basically a seafood omelette with lots of garnishes and seaweed and sauces. And like all the meals we've had at Melbourne House, utterly delicious. I think Ingenue's developed mast envy. Customs have come and opened the shipping container. They've been working bringing the stuff down to the boat. Got it here. Now we're going to get it on board.
Where are we going to put it?
8 big boxes of food and 4 dozen bottles of wine. Mavis and Rosie are putting the food away while Jim's working in the background with some wiring.
No, it's behind you, I think, Jim. That's how you get to the jammers.
Yes.
We've come over to the Hyatt Hotel for presentation. It's going to be held in that building, which is the Osaka Trade Centre. We're all dressed up and ready to go across the walkway here to the auditorium for the presentation. And now back to the Hyatt for the reception. We were presented these beautiful antique dolls for being the cleanest and happiest people to arrive, and I'm reciprocating by presenting a pair of cufflinks. Commodore Toshi-san and I have swapped club ties. This looks like a tall story to me. These are our friends who showed us the tea ceremony. Jimmy and the girls are enjoying a superb teriyaki. With the help of guides, we are going to visit Kyoto on public transport. We will be travelling on buses, suburban railways and the medium-fast train. Bicycles are very popular here. This is the entrance to the JR railway station.
Oh, I can't. 780? Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
The concourse at the Kyoto railway station is not very crowded at the moment. The thigh-length black stockings are very popular. That's the Tower Hotel reflected in the station roof. A traditional garden at our luncheon stop. After lunch we walked across the road to the Kyoto Castle. This is the main gate. Trees are being pruned in the bonsai fashion.
There used to be illustration there. Oh, but that's the illustration you can find.
A bus ride has brought us over here from the castle. We're going to see the Golden Pavilion. The upper levels are covered in gold leaf. The pavilion and lake are set in a large park. There are also shops and a tea house here. Young people like to dress up in traditional costume to come and visit. Near the tea rooms, this temple is a popular spot to visit and pray.
Cheese. Thank you. What's your?
You can buy everything in this arcade, which runs for 3 city blocks parallel to the main shopping centre of Kyoto. It's peak hour in the main street of Kyoto, and it's time for us to be heading back towards Osaka. People waiting for the train queue up beside the marker which will indicate where the door will open. The bus will be half an hour and the girls are looking hungry.
Inhaling the smells.
We have brought the yachts over to the wall and are filling up with fuel for our journey home. The time has come to say goodbye to all of our friends.